Hello, hello, and welcome to another live conversation. If you're new to this space, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, listener, subscriber, welcome back. All right, Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. So we do not bash anyone, we do not belittle anyone, and we keep the space a safe one where you feel a sense of belonging, where you feel valued. All right, and so welcome. So what we're here to do today, this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you're tuned in from, is really to do a quick recap of what happened, you know yesterday, and just to let you know And just to let you know too, that we have some reaction, at least one reaction from Noah Lyles, and I'm going to show you that clip in a bit. All right, but just to give you an update of some of the events that took place yesterday. And so we want to go and, look at that soon. I'll just bring up that on screen where we can definitely look. And so, Noah's reaction, we're going to break that down. And I'm not sure if Ruran is going to get to join us for this one, but he's usually pretty good at interpreting these things. And so, for sure, we're going to get to Lyles, and also the opportunity will be here for you to call in and share with us. So, hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and let us keep on building here. All right. So before we get into Noah, let me just do a quick recap while we build in numbers here. All right, so let me just share screen, just stop and share screen here, just to give you a sense of, what happened. So this is day two. Let's just quickly look at day one. All right, so day one in the morning started out, I'll say, a bit gloomy, and especially in light of the fact that we got word that Elaine Thompson era will not be, defending her titles. And of course, she did not show up for any of the 100-meter events, well, the 100-meter events yesterday. And so, in that context, we saw some prelim qualification rounds, and that was also for the juniors as well as the seniors. All right. So in the morning, it was raining. And so what had happened, that has impacted some of the performances. So today they start at about 9:30 a.m. Jamaica time. So just in about hour and about 28 minutes or so, but not much to see in the morning. Mainly the juniors. And so a lot of us will be here in the evening for the big excitement, and we'll be here. We're thinking of a way to, at least for you to see the live runs in the semis 100. Those will be a few seconds, so perhaps we can maybe show those and the finals. So stick and stay with us. We want to ensure that we have you covered as best as we can. So once it can work, we'll definitely, share as much as we can in that context. So in the morning, we saw, some qualification rounds in the men's 400 meters. That was one there, and also the 100 meters men. That was significant. But really, leading up, the big focus is really on the Olympic Games. And so the seniors, a little bit here in terms of the men, 5,000 meters. And let's see here some results coming up for you. And let us see what we have here. Just waiting on the results here to load. And hopefully we get those. All right, so Noel Ellis, all right, of the University of the West Indies there, 1607.49. Dwayne Graham, 1622.88. Jason Baker, 1638.82. All right, we're not seeing the cues in terms of Olympic qualifying standards, so perhaps not too sure about that. In terms of the long jump, Akeelia Smith, all right, 653 there. Shanice Porter, 649. Tisana Icklin, 636. Valicia Williams, 636. Nia, 631. Melissa, this looks like 563. All right, so we'll and 619 here. And not sure what this X is, perhaps not Jamaican, so I'm not too sure there. All right, then the hurdles was something else that a lot of us we were looking forward to. And I believe we're going to see the qualification list here in terms of the persons moving forward, all right, to the semis. All right, so we have Janine Russell, all right, 54 seconds flat. Andrenet Knight, 54.09. Rochelle Clayton, 54.54. All right, so that was, fantastic there in terms of the hurdles. Cheyenne Salmon as well there, 56.49. And that looks like a PB there for Andrenet Knight. We also saw Rhonda White there. And these are the qualifiers, as you will see moving forward to the semis. All right, so Gabrielle and Lashana Tonian, or perhaps the finals. I'm just seeing 8 here. All right, so pretty much Tia Adana, I guess that's why you have the X because not Jamaican. All right, so that won't affect the Jamaicans in the race. Okay. And then over to the men's equivalent here. So welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, share button, and the subscription button. All right, Malik James King, 48.68. Rashawn Clark, 49.06. Rox Roy, 49.48. Asini, 49.88. Jahil Hyde, 50.02. Antonia Forbes, 53.9. Robin Black, 54.5. All right, and not seeing a queue here for Demar. So we'll see what happens in this one. But those should be going forward. So we'll see too. Okay, we have here 49.46 Rashim Griffiths. All right, won't affect the Jamaicans. And I am wondering here, right, if Clark will defend his title, and I suspect that perhaps he's going to try and do that. So we'll definitely see what happens in that one. So, again, Malik James King, Rashawn Clark, and Roxroy Cato were the standouts in the men's 400 hurdles. All right. But it was Malik James King who advances to the final with the Olympic standard after blazing to a time of, let's go back here to see the time, 48.68. All right, so that's it there for Malik there in this one. So again, another fantastic highlight, and we talk about Akia Smith in terms of that long jump. All right, and we'll see what happens. So she has pretty much booked her ticket to France. All right, and so we had the boys, the Catalan again, then the prelim here, the 400 meters for the seniors. And so here again, as you know, they kind of take out one round. And if you were here with us last evening, it's unfortunate that Antonio Watson, the world champion, will not be a part of this one. All right. So what had happened is that, in his heat, for some reason, they were just there out there too long. And as he wasn't in the best of shape or form. And so, while I was there just saying like I don't like it when they have the athletes, just out for so long. Then they sent them off, called them back, and for no reason apparently. So I suspect that perhaps that might have, prevented him from going. When they came back, he was holding on to his leg. And so I suspect that perhaps he was feeling something then. And then they sent them off the second time, and just into a few meters, he just stopped. And so, again, health comes first. So, again, another top athlete won't be making it to Paris. So, again, yesterday was a little bit gloomy. Welcome, Anne Marie. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. All right, and we saw some high jump as well. So over on the women's side, let's see what that looks like as we get closer to what I guess a lot of us want to talk about for sure. All right. So in the context of that 400, sorry, we saw good performances from Sean Bailey, Javon Powell. All right. And so Raheem Hales, DeAndre Watkin, and those were some, other standouts there in that one. All right. So over into this high jump. These are the participants that you see on screen there. And we also saw the girls under 20 prelims, all right, in the 100, the boys equivalent as well. And over to the seniors in terms of the 100 meters on the women's side. All right, so in this one, Shelly Fraser Price, as you can see, 10.98. All right, 10.98. And that's the season best for Shelly. Sherika Jackson, 10.99. Sasha Lee Forbes, 11.03. We have Natasha Morrison, 11.12 going in. Jodine Williams, 11.01. And you can see the Olympic qualifying times beside these persons' names. Tia Clayton. And this is significant because, if it is that their place, then I guess don't have the Olympic qualifying time, then I guess they have to get that time perhaps by the 7th of July. Not too sure of that, but we'll see how it goes. So this reaching that standard is definitely important. All right. And so this was, something that a lot of us we were looking out for and, wanted to see. All right. So Jackson, she looked very good, I must say, Sharika. So Sharika won her heat. So I think it was heat one. All right. And so she'll be in the semifinals later this evening. So you want to ensure that you're here with us because we'll be here live for the semis and the finals. Right. And so in this context, Sharika looked fantastic. We saw also Shelly and Fraser Price. She looked very good, but of the two, I would perhaps say that Sharika was a little bit more relaxed. All right, that's just my view from what I was seeing. All right, because she closed down very early, Sharika. All right, Shelly, had a very fantastic run too. It wasn't a big gap between the two, I would say, in the context of how relaxed they were, but I would give the edge to Sharika. All right, so Shelly got a fairly good start, and so she crossed the line in 10:98. All right, seconds to win heat number two of the 100 meters there. All right, in then I guess Natasha Morrison, she won her heat as well, did she? Yes, I think she won heat number three, and it was I guess a more of a fight in let's see the time here, 11.12 seconds. All right, so that was Natasha Morrison. And perhaps based on what we're seeing here, maybe she might not be in the top three come later this evening. We'll see what happens. The next one, Sasha Lee Forbes, led the field to win heat number four. All right. And Sasha Lee's time there, 11:03. All right. So just to let you know that, we'll have the semis for the women. So just to look at some other athletes here, Jodine Williams, I think she did a good run there, 11:01. Tia Clayton, all right, 11:02. Crystal Slowly, 11:12. Hemba Nelson, 11:16. Tina Clayton, 11:13. Alana Reed, 11:20. Shakoria Wallace, 11:24. Ashanti Moore, 11:24. Janelle Smith, 11:23. Brianna Williams, 11:25. Lani Tava, 11:27. And Naisha Berger, 11:32. So these 16 ladies will move to the semis. And then from the semis, we'll have the top eight moving to the final. All right. So just to let you know that. All right, so that was exciting, but guess what was more exciting over on the men's side of things? And this part, conversation, and I'm going to play Noah's clip because that's perfect now for us to go to that. But look at the results on screen. Kishane Thompson, right, is now, I guess, equal the sixth fastest time ever, run in Jamaica. So E and Oblique, they share 9.82. All right, so Oblique Seville, he started out and he looked very easy. 9.98 seconds, all right, winning his heat and then advancing to the semifinals. All right, so that was definitely easy peasy for Oblique. Look rather easy there. And then Kishane Thompson, all right, pretty much declared his intentions with a PB of 9.82 seconds to win heat two of the men's 100 meters. All right, so that was a big run. We also saw Julian Fort, holding his form, and I guess he took his heat in about 10 seconds flat. Yeah, that's on screen there. All right, we also saw Raheem Ford. All right, 10:02. I guess to take that final heat. So let us just quickly look at the qualifiers going in. So Kishane Thompson lead the qualifiers 9.82. All right, so that is definitely fantastic, equaling the equaling Civil's time that he ran at the Racers Grand Prix. Guys, as you enter, hit the like button, man, and the subscription button. And, let's continue to grow. All right. The world leading time this year is 9:79. I have no doubt that Kishane and Oblique, they can hit that target or below that, no doubt, based on how these two athletes, looked. If we go back to the Racers Grand Prix, when we're looking at Oblique, when he did that 9:82, like he was literally looking around and where are you, Noah? Where are you? So we see that he has more in the tank. Last evening also, reinforced that in the sense that there's more there for Oblique. So Ferdinand, all right, Omaniala of Kenya as the world leading time based on what I know, 9:79. All right. And so again, Seville held that for about 2-3 weeks. And then, Ferdinand came and say, I am here. I am a part of this conversation. But what I am seeing from Kishane and Seville is that they have more in the tank. So we're just waiting to see what we'll get in the semis and the finals later this evening. You want to be here, so ensure that you hit the subscription button, right? Close the X in the live chat. Just touch on the X, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscription button, and tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. All right, so guys, come on, man. You can hit the subscription button. What are you waiting for? Hit that button right now. Hit the like button. Easiest ways to support us is by liking and sharing, subscribing. All right, so Julian Fort is there to 10:00 flat and Olympic qualifying time there. Raheem Ford 10:02. Akeem Blake 9:95. So the big question is, who will be in the top three? And I suspect, based on what we're seeing, I would say Kishane Oblique and Akeem Blake. They seem to be the top right now. And we hope that Akeem Blake continues to, get things right and do what he's supposed to do. And I think we could be very, very great in the sense once we get these men, through, or once these men get through. All right. And so seeing Kishane and Oblique, just especially Kishane going through the rounds is definitely important. That's an important factor in the context of Kishane. Welcome, welcome. Please hit the like button, subscription button. All right. So here, Raheem Ford, then we'll see Akeem. Akeem Blake is here. And Brian Level, all right. Rowan Watson, Hadrian Goldson, Sandre Davidson, Jelani Gordon, Taekwondo Tracy, Jelani Walker, Sachin Dennis, Jazeel Murphy, Travis Williams, and Nigel Ellis. All right, those are the top 16 who will move forward to the semis later today. And then the finals will be here, and we're trying to find a way where you can get to at least view those quick runs. So we'll be here for that. just to let you know that things are not yet started for day two. That will be in about a next hour or so. And it will be mainly the juniors. So I'll be coming on later when the seniors are ready for the action. 100 finals, men and women will be, I believe we'll see hurdles finals. So we'll be here for those, actions. And so ensure that you're here with us as well. All right. So let me just stop sharing here and let's see if we can go to Mr. Noah because Noah had something to say about, Kishane's run. All right, and let me see what's happening here. Hopefully, I am not missing I'm still here. Just seem to be having a little challenge here, getting back on just to share my screen, but I suspect that you're hearing me. I am here. These things happen sometimes. So we'll just wait for my system here to respond. But I am ready to share with you Mr. Noah's response. So let me just see if we can get back to this somehow. All right, so in a little bit, we should be able to do that. All right, so slowly but surely we're getting there, Crystal. So let me just wait to see if you guys are able to see what's going on my screen here. You should be seeing, and let's see here. Hopefully we can get to switch to see that video. So just waiting here for things to get back up. And, sometimes, as I say, these things happen. And, I am pretty much multitasking in terms of systems here, but I believe we're good now. So thanks for sticking and staying, guys. And this is why your support, means the world to us here. So please remember to hit that, like button, share button, subscription button, and let us continue to grow stronger together. So apparently, Noah was asked last evening, pretty much if we knew about the Jamaica trials and, what was happening. All right. And so he had a reaction to Kishane's 9.82, and it was along the lines of hope he stays healthy. All right. So let me see if I can get this clip for you. Not able to move just yet. But if I have the video that I would love for you to see for yourself. If not, I can definitely play the audio, but I would love for you to see the video. So let me just give this a little bit of moment to see if the system will just allow me to navigate it. In the meantime, I am going to put the WhatsApp number in the chat just in the event that you would like to call in and, share. All right, let me just pin this in the chat. All right, so you can definitely give us a call. All right, guys, asking for 5 subscribers. Hit the subscription button. Hit that subscription button. Let's start out there and let us get this up to 10 likes. So let's get some things going on. All right. So again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome. I'm just going to see if I can just get to that clip. I do have the I can play it, the audio, but I would love for you to see it. All right, we should be getting there somewhere. All right. Thanks for sticking and staying with us. And so, all right, we're ready to hear from Mr. Lyles, and we just want to talk about this. So let us hear what Noah had to say in the context of Kishane Thompson's 9.82.
Shoot, I want to see what they do.
Well,
And I'm trying to see something.
All right, the audio is not coming
So
so
he stays healthy.
a little bit.
good here, but let's try again here.
Shoot, I want to
Let
see
me
what they do.
Well,
And I'm trying to see something.
you want to know?
What, did they already start running?
Yeah, because Shane Thompson ran 9.82 in the 100
Okay.
meets.
All right, nice. So he stays healthy.
A little bit.
All right, so hopefully you got to hear that. Let me just go another time. So just in the event that you did not hear, let's just go back to Noah. Let's just run that another time.
Shoot, I want to see what they do.
Well,
And I'm trying to see something.
you want to know?
What, did they already start running?
Yeah, because Shane Thompson ran 9.82 in the 100
Okay.
meets.
All right, nice. So he stays healthy.
A little bit.
All right, so I have a few things to say, and I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. So when he was pretty much asked about the trials, he was like, oh, so they start running? And I'm like, come on, Noah, you know this. Your girlfriend Janelle, I assume, should be in Jamaica right now, preparing, for or doing whatever. So you know this. So come on, Noah, come on, Noah, come on. All right. So in this sense, like I felt like he was caught, off guard, and just hearing the time perhaps kind of send him in another zone or in another, just thinking. But then they asked, and I guess the time came after to be fair to him, and so he was now reacting to Kishane's time to say, well, 9.82. Well, I hope he stays healthy. Not too sure, why you would want to say that. Obviously, I guess he wasn't expecting that kind of time. And I guess perhaps you would know, oh, this is just the first round and 9.82. Let's see what is happening. And, right now, if the numbers translate to results in Paris based on what we're seeing right now, Lyles is perhaps going to settle for another bronze or something there, a bronze, there if the numbers should hold up. And I'm just talking about the numbers and what we're seeing right now. If these numbers should hold, then perhaps, Noah might settle for a bronze medal, right? And maybe if we want to put Ferdinand in the mix too, maybe he's not even in the top three. Maybe he doesn't make the podium. So this is getting interesting in terms of on the men's side, because right now, if we're looking at the numbers, right, Noah could miss that podium in Paris if we're just looking at the raw data that we have. Right now, Ferdinand 9.79 were lead. And then we have the two Jamaicans, 9.82. If we're going off, this data, then we can say from that, Noah won't be on the podium. But to be fair to Noah, he's very consistent. He has a lot of determination, that drive that can push him to get on that podium, to get to that gold medal. And not too sure what's that in terms of the psychological state of athletes like Kishane Thompson and Civil. And I guess Civil would have had far more experience than Kishane. And sometimes the experience, will win in that sense. You're able to deal with, the crowd, just being there on the biggest stage, in terms of athletics, the Olympic Games. And so that might be something that can have, a negative impact, that psychological effect. And so that is something that perhaps we'll have to be, concerned about. Eric, welcome, welcome. And Eric is saying you're so right about your analysis. Thank you, Eric. Give us a call, Eric. Would love to hear from you. The WhatsApp number is in the chat there, so you can give us a call. All right, and welcome and share in the chat too, guys. Really like that. Close the X, hit the like button, and ensure that you hit that subscription button as well. And so in this context, I am thinking that this, we were always wanting to see Jamaican men in terms of, track and field. And by the way, Johan Blake did not make it into the top 16, and that is unfortunate. So we won't see any more of Johan in the 100 meters. And I'm not too sure if he's contesting the 200 meters, but that's the situation here. So what I guess Noah is just caught here saying, well, I hope Kishane stays healthy, because I guess Noah, I'm not sure if he's just thinking like if he's not healthy, then perhaps I'll have a chance. 982 round one, that's a massive time, so it's not even the semis yet. How about the finals? But the thing that we need to kind of know too is that Kishane is not used to going through the rounds, right? So we might see 982 now and perhaps not necessarily see that in the final come later this evening. Well, he looked relaxed. He shut it down, pretty quickly. And so, he looks to be in form. But, I am always saying that it's different when we see the athletes running a one race where they can run a very fast time, as opposed to when they go through the rounds. When they go through the rounds, that has a bit more impact. And so this is why I'm saying that in the context of the experience, so we might have Kishane Thompson, for example, let's say he sets a new world leading time later this evening, going to Paris, and that may not necessarily translate to a gold medal, because, the experience, teaches us a lot in terms of, how we cope with environment, how we kind of execute in terms of our skills and talents. And so that part of it that I will refer to as the psychological aspect, we need to factor or take into consideration. And so again here, I would say perhaps, Noah is a little bit troubled, and, he uses like his tactics in terms of, his excitement to help him to get through. And so each athlete, they will have to find that thing. We saw, Bolt, and he was able to just be relaxed, go there and put on a very good show. And so right now, I suspect that Noah is going to be a bit concerned. So while he was there saying, Oblique, I will see you in Paris, he's not just going to look for Oblique. Right now, he has to look out for Kishane and also Ferdinand, right? And so that tells us a lot. So again, if we're going off the data, the results that we have here, Noah Lyles is not even on the podium. All right, let me just check the chat here. And I agree with you, Eric. Eric is saying don't put too much weight on Noah's confidence, it will become anger when he loses. Remember the last time Oblique beat him, he was, yes, and definitely I saw that as well. And, just in terms of the excuse to say, the starter it was, I guess, too quick of a start. And so, all those things. And, sports, or, these events, we have to be gracious in defeat and just understand that we are not always going to be at our best. And somebody might be better than us at some particular time. And I suspect that there is something else that I could say about Noah, but I won't say. And that is definitely something. Sometimes I sense that anxiety that comes along for him, and I don't want to speak about him because I don't know him as a person like that. But just based on what I see, coming out from, interviews, so forth. And so in that context, you know, we can see where perhaps he's getting psychological, support in terms of how to continue in terms of its success in track. And so that is definitely important. And we have to pay attention to that psychological part. It's definitely important. So for Akeem Blake, he's very, very talented. And I suspect that the psychological impact of just going to the races, that is having somewhat of a negative effect on him. And perhaps that's where his work are focused along with the physical aspect. And so oftentimes we'll be here just talking about the physical, they're not getting the time. But sometimes when you look at Akeem just jumping out the blocks and, false starting or just, turning over, I feel that because he's just thinking so much, like he wants to run, he wants to do his best, but at the same time, he just needs to have that patience, that calm, something to pretty much ground him where he's able to execute properly. All right, let me just take a quick look. Eric is saying, plus the rest of the world we don't see yet. And as I said, Ferdinand, he has the world lead in time 979. That's what he ran at his trials there in Kenya. And I think those would be the top athletes right now based on the numbers. So Ferdinand, the two Jamaicans, Noah, and somewhere there. All right. Kingers, welcome. And King, as is saying, you're on the right path with your analysis. Thank you so much. We can't be overzealous, but we seem to have an exciting finals ahead. I'm also not disappointed that Johan didn't make it because his passes prime. Yeah, I guess, not disappointed. I am not either, to be honest. Like last evening when I was there, kind of picking the top three, I'm like, I'm just selecting no not Noah, Johan to based on the history, but not expecting. And if he gets there, he gets there. And unfortunately he did not. And I guess with the sport, these things happen. Like your time, when you get your time to shine, you just have to shine as bright as you can, shine bright like a diamond. And so, that's the situation there. And King as is also saying can't factor Ferdinand in the mix either because he's not a big race. He's gonna make the podium. He's not gonna make the podium. All right. And so, that's another consideration, but, just having seen him going through the rounds. So again, it's not that physically he can't, but then again, I feel that that psychological aspect is something that some of these athletes, they need to focus on. Not too sure what they're doing, but, definitely props because he has the talent and perhaps he might miss the podium. So let's see. Sam is saying Kishane will run 975. That's in the final. Oblique will run 975. both will run the same time. And we'll definitely see what that looks like. Like, based on, what I saw from Oblique Racers, when he did that 9.82, obviously that could translate to about 979 based on how he shut it down, was looking for, Noah, 7-9 somewhere, 7-8. And Kishane now, with Kishane, this is pretty much the first time I'm going to get to see Kishane going through the rounds. So if we remember last time, you know, we just saw him just came and, run this one race, one round, and it was a good time, and then we don't see him again because obviously he was injured. All right, let us take this caller. Caller, you're live.
Good afternoon or good morning, I should say.
That's okay. We're in different spaces and places, so that's fine. Welcome.
Yeah, we're different places. No, I was just looking at just calling to talk about the lads them, the guys them who, Kishane and Oblique and stuff like that. I think that Kishane can run 9.69. Maybe not today, but I think that eventually he's gonna run 9.69 or 9.65.
Okay.
I'm just worried about Seville. And I've always been worried about Seville because Seville is putting a bit of mass on his body. So that helps him a lot through rounds. But with Seville, the problem what I have with him is that he sometimes become a bit over excited when he's winning. And forget to do the minor thing, which is just cross the line properly.
Yeah, without looking left or right.
Without looking left or right. That's the only thing I worry about him. And not even so much that transition into the race itself, when you're not even looking left or right, because you constantly keep on looking left and right, your anticipation drops. And then when you start running the race now, you still have that back in your system, looking left or right, although you're not looking left or right. So you still run a slower time than what you're supposed to be running. So that's the problem I have with him. And I think that is going to take a long time for him to get that out of his system. I have a thing to say with Kishane. I've been watching him a few years ago. And with Kishane, you can see the power in his first 60 meters. It's just, I don't think anyone can beat him in that finals. If he makes it through to the Olympics, I don't think anyone can beat him. No one can beat him. He looks really, really, really decent. Really, really good. And I also like this other guy, Sandre Davidson.
Right.
Yeah, I've just been watching him. I've been watching him because I think his dad is a coach. I think they also called that girl. I like her. She's very good aerodynamics. What's her name? I think she's from Magoti or something like that. So I think his dad is a coach though. But I've been watching him and I like him. I like the structure of how he sets up, how tall he is. I don't know if he's that tall, but how he looks
on television. He looks tall on television, yeah.
Yeah, he looks a bit tall. But the structure, and I think this is his first year transitioning from class 1. Now, if this is your first year and you're transitioning into the pro league from class 1 and you're doing so well, and you have to check the background of this guy. His father is a coach. I think his father is a coach. Don't get me wrong. This class 2 girl that ran the 200 meters. What's her name? What's her name again? I love her, man. She's just classic. Do you remember her name? The class 2 girl that ran the 200 meters, class 2 200 meters. She won the 200 meters.
Was it
not Terry Long?
Not Terry Long. Is it Dockery? Class 2.
Dockery.
Okay.
Dockery. Oh, I love that girl, Dockery, because she have a good aerodynamics when she's running. So when she get a bit fitter and when she get a bit stronger, she get more mass on her legs and stuff like that, she's going to be a handful in the 200 meters. And eventually they're going to allow her to run the 100 because she needs to work on her first 60 meter. And that's the problem with her. But after that, she'll be fine. I think that knowing Davidson history, Davidson is going to be a handful for these guys because he's going to be faster than Akeem in the future. And he's going to be challenging Oblique as soon as possible because he's that good. So I'm happy for the male sprinters then coming to the fort now.
Yes.
I'm really happy about that because we were in dire straits a few months ago thinking that we're just going to depend solely on Kishan. And now we're depending on, we have other options. So
Yes.
that's really, really, really nice to know.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, so I'm happy. I'm really happy. So we have actually turned a slight corner now. Now we have to produce it because Kishan have a problem with his injuries. And everyone knows that he's injury prone and stuff like that.
Yes, yes. So it's about managing that. And, as I say, when you get that stage, you just have to perform because we see what is going on with Elaine, that jumper from Venezuela. She's going to miss out due to injuries, so won't be able to defend Rojas won't be able to defend her Olympic title. So, it's unfortunate, but that's sports and that's life in general. Sometimes there are ups and downs too. It comes with the territory.
I know this, and even with Elaine, I think you don't want to say it or anything. A lot of people probably don't want to say it, but I think she makes a lot of bad decisions, not financially. She's very good decision financially, but in terms of her career, I think she makes a lot of bad decisions. MVP, I understand why she left MVP, but then you get you've got problems with the Achilles, and Achilles is a very dangerous injury because it allows stress in your, it depends on which one. It allows stress in your shin, and then that stress translate right up into your knee, and that start giving you back problems. So once you have an Achilles problem, it might seem like it's just a tendon problem, but it becomes serious over the time. You cannot walk on the Achilles problem all day, because if you walk on the Achilles problem all day, you're going to have a breakdown in your knee, and then eventually you're going to have back problems afterwards. So if she gets someone who can actually deal with the Achilles problem properly, like what she had that girl after she left.
Saniki.
After her husband decided that he can't coach her, because obviously he can't coach her. But after she left, she got Shaniki. And I just don't know why. Give the girl what she wants, because you know the problem you have. You're not a healthy athlete. You need someone who can manage that. And if she had kept that girl, she would have been shoo-in to finish. So I think that she makes a bad decision where that is. I didn't expect her. I've said this to a lot of people that she will not be making the finals. And it's because of her injuries.
Yeah, and it depends, because it could be a situation where she's with Shaniki and it happens. So you just never know with injuries like that.
You know what happened with the Achilles? Because I've got Achilles problem.
Okay.
And I know this. I can't walk all day on my Achilles. I know how serious that problem is. So you have to get someone to manage it properly, right through the right exercise. Because the best thing that's going to help it's a duration of time. And she's an elite athlete. I'm not. I just walk, and I can't walk for the entire day because of my Achilles. So she have an Achilles problem. It's a worst problem to have in a sport. So you have to manage it properly. The exercise is the most important thing that you have to do. She had that girl that was dealing with those exercises for her. So she should actually, just carry on with it. Pay the girl what she needs. and that's it. And she would have been fine. Another question I wanted to bring up, which is a very controversial question, is I know a lot of people are questioning her loyalty. Is I don't know, is Brianna, and I'm really disappointed that she's not at the trials. I'm really disappointed.
Well, she has, and so that's the thing. Like, I am not so much of a fan of the NCAA circuit because when the athletes go there, they are overworked, right? And so while Brianna Liston was running, she was not 100%. While she was doing all that for LSU, she wasn't 100%. So it wasn't shocking. It wasn't too, like, I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted to see her here, but it didn't come as a big surprise for me that she was closing out for the season, because based on what was happening, we get that sense, in that context of, what was happening with her. It's just unfortunate. She's young and perhaps she might think, but then, when you have athletes, sometimes they'll decide to say, you know what, if track doesn't work out, at least I have my education. So
she's a very clever girl.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
That's not a problem with Brianna.
She's brilliant.
Yeah,
so my
exactly.
my own thing would be for her to go pro, and perhaps because she's brilliant, like, take the opportunity as how it is presented right now. She's very talented, 100, 200 meters, perhaps more in terms of a specialty. I would say the 200 meters for her, but extremely talented. So, for me, I would make A while the sun shines, take the opportunity now. I mean, she can always study later. It's not as if she cannot get an education, but
this is what worries me. This is what worries me. This is the Olympics. You're 18 or 19 years of age. You're running 10.89. You're running that. And you can't come to trials even just to do one event, which is the 100. Because I think with her powers, with her mass on her legs now, it's becoming a bit more from where she was in high school. She was very thin. So she have actually put on a lot of weight. And she's managing that, because when you put on a lot of weight, you have to manage the pressure that's going to be exerted on your foot, and it's going to help with your speed. So what I'm saying is that if it's just the 100 meters, you can't tell me that she can't come and something to the 100 meters.
Well, you see, the thing is, I don't know the extent of the injury, and I suspect that she's going to she's taking this time off, so we'll perhaps see her world championships. And so I guess in that sense, because the thing is, with injuries too, you have to be careful. And so maybe she needs to do, I don't know, whatever or what the situation is, as I say, but it could be like, take it now, or you run a 1 or 2 race and it's over. So in that sense, you have to be smart about what you do and not do. But, the circuit, as I say, it works them. It really does. And so that's just unfortunate.
I understand a lot of people where they're talking about the circuit, and I understand the problem she has with injuries. But it's 3 rounds she's going to come and run, and it's only 100 meters. 3 rounds, and I know it's going to be explosive, but she's running so fast that these girls are not going to catch her. She's going to actually finish in the top 3.
Yes, but I get that. But again, we don't know the nature of the injury. And as I said, running 3 rounds could be very detrimental, even 1.
But probably, but I would think that I'm rather disappointed in her decision,
because look at Antonio. Like, I guess it comes with the territory. If we look at Antonio Watson last evening, world champion, like, he was there, and I was worried for the athletes because I felt that the starter kept them too long, and then when they sent them off, they called them back. And when they sent them off again, like just a few meters in, and he just stopped because, and again, he was dealing with some injuries. Yes, he came, just showed up to see, okay, let me see if I can go through but he just couldn't. And so we could say, why
But he
didn't just
showed up.
run the one
But
round? But I mean, he
but
showed up to
he
the
showed
line,
up.
but just
He
could not execute. So it could be the same thing. Like, look at Elaine. She decided not to show up to the line. And that's based on, health injuries. So again, it could be the similar thing with Brianna Lister, in the sense that we don't know the magnitude of her injury. So I guess it is what it is, but I feel that we'll be good. I know we are worrying a lot, especially on the women's side, but based on what we saw from Shelly and Sharika last evening, they look rather relaxed, and so we're looking forward to seeing them later today.
I'm happy about Shelly because Shelly and Sharika, they're my girl. Sharika, I've said this from last last month that she had a little bit too much weight on her body. I don't know. She have got some diet problems because I saw her run in I think it's Stockholm or one of those countries.
I think
And
I'm not too sure if it's a diet. I think it's a strategy for the 200.
no, it's a diet. It's not strategy. It's diet because Frano afterwards came out and said that he had some problem with her diet.
Well, I don't
So
like
you
when
can
I was
see.
listening to him, like they said they got whoever to come and fix. But you see, with Frano, you have to weigh
Mhm.
his words. Like when he speaks, very loaded. So like he's not going to. I mean, Sharika is an experienced athlete, and so you would know what is at stake. I feel that they're perhaps going to focus on getting that record for the 200 meters, hence the structure in terms of, I guess, the muscle. But she's looking good. Like I saw her last evening, she's back in form. And so you notice, if we go back to last season, like she was running some faster times, but now we saw her relatively slow. And so I suspect that they want her to peak at the right time. So perhaps last season she was peaking, I guess, too early. So we
No,
saw
I
a bit
understand.
slower there. So not too
Yeah,
sure, but
I understand the strategy. I understand the strategy and stuff like that. But I just think that there's a with Shelly and Sharika. Shelly is extremely disciplined with a lot of. She's the most disciplined athlete I've ever known. Is Shelly, because every time she come on the track, if you look at her body mass, it just remains the same. But when I looked at Sharika body mass, I think something went wrong over the period of January to about March. Her body mass has actually, she put on a little bit more than what she was expected of. And I think that has actually culminated in her running slower times, because it's difficult for you to transform to that as an elite athlete, because these are just milli that you have to put on. But when I saw her run yesterday, not even run, you don't need to see sometimes a person run to judge they can run fast. I know she can run fast. When I saw her body mass now, you can see she's actually gone down a lot. So I don't know if they try to work on taking off some of the muscle mass. When I talk about body mass, I'm talking about the
yes,
muscle mass.
right.
So she's reduced the muscle mass a lot, and that will allow her to run 10:7 quite easily by Olympic time. So I'm happy about Sharika. I'm happy about Shelly. I'm just hoping that Shelly body holds up for the Olympics, which I think she's good, because she's got everything on everything sorted out for her. So I'm really happy about our girls, but I'm not sure which other person which will actually finish in the top three, apart from I don't know about Christian Slowly. She looks she's fast, but she's not really ready yet. I don't think she's ready yet. I think she looks a bit weak in terms of strength. She hasn't got the strength yet to really to really go through the rounds. And I might be wrong. She might have the speed, but the strength is going to be difficult. And with her start is just a bit tricky. Sometimes she get a good start, sometimes she get a bad start. So I think Prana hasn't really got her in the system properly yet.
No, she's not. She's not because of her academics right now. So she's not.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I like the Clayton, the younger Clayton twins. You know, yeah, they have to work a lot on their. I hate to say this, but they have to work a lot on their diet.
Well, I don't know if it is that, but yeah, I can't specifically say that.
But
so
in terms of mass, in terms of
better
mass,
we leave it there because sometimes it's just your natural, body, and it doesn't mean that you're eating more, eating less. So I'm not
no,
what's
it's not like they're eating. We're not talking about getting, we're just talking like, on a professional aspect of it. When they transitioning from high school to pro leagues, like even Brianna, when she was transitioning from high school to NCA, she didn't run a lot last year because she had to take a lot of time. She needs to put on weight in body mass. And I think the Clayton twins probably just have to shave a little bit off. I think Prana will deal with it quite well because he knows these things. He's the expert. So he knows these things. And then they're going to run really fast in the future. But I don't think this year. But I think the younger twin, she might have a shoe in getting in along with, I don't know, maybe Sashali
Forbes. Yeah,
Sashali Forbes. I like her. She's one of them mid-range runners there that will always do well. So I'm happy. I'm happy that she's actually come back from her injury and she's running really well. But I'm happy about the whole aspect. I'm also happy about Jaden Ebert deciding to do the long jump. I'm not quite sure if he'll do it in the Olympics. What do you think he'll do it in the Olympics?
Not too sure. And E2 is prone to injuries, so I am not too sure, but we'll see what happens.
I like him anyway. I like him. I think his injuries is just based on the sport that he does. A lot of people, he has to get used to the professional rounds and stuff like that. So I think he'll be fine. And also the hurdlers, we have a plethora of hurdlers that are really, 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 really good this season. I think we'll pick up a lot of medals this year. I really do think, and a few golds. And I think we're going to beat Noel Lyles. He's not going to win that 100 meters.
Yeah, if the data should translate to the podium in Paris, I don't see him on the podium.
He's got spirit, he's got fight, but I just think that these guys are faster. And it's good that Kishane has come to the party because Kishane is going to actually drag Seville into these realms. I would love us to get a 1-2 in that 100 meters.
And it is possible, but I am just looking to see Kishane going through the rounds. So later on, and when the final comes up, then I'll be able to say, okay, yes, he's ready for this. So because that's what is missing for him in like kind of getting to that conclusion. But he looks very good, strong, ready to do something. And he was pretty much relaxed. Like it came like just a stroll in the park for him last evening. So, looking forward to that. So that is fantastic. I didn't get your name, and is this your first time calling?
Yeah, I was just watching YouTube and I saw your program on the telly, and I said, let me just give you a call and I will chat about some athletics.
Wonderful. Where are you calling from, if you don't mind sharing your first name?
All over, far over in the west, the eastern side of the world.
Okay.
I'm calling from UK.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so is it time for some?
Don't get me wrong.
That's fine. Is it time for some tea? Can I get some tea, mate?
Why do you ever look here? I am Jamaica. Don't ask me about no tea.
Mate,
Don't-
it could be some ginger tea, mate.
no ginger tea. I drink water, and
Wa-
that's it. Not
Wonderful.
tea.
Wonderful.
But
Welcome to the
but it,
Voices in Education family.
yeah, no problem. And anytime I will, anytime you're online or so, I'll probably give you another call in just to share my views. I know my views can be sometimes a bit radical, but it's not radical in a very derogative way. It's
Yeah,
radical in a very uplifting way, so that our athletes, we share our opinion because they're athletes, and doesn't matter. I'm patriotic, but not as patriotic as some people view patriotism as. I'm patriotic with the sense that I want my country to do well, and if they're not doing well, I will critique them accordingly.
all right.
So that's me in general. So when I have a little go at my athletes, that's the reason. But I want to ask you one question before you go. Uh, which other athletes do you think will have a go? Is it Julian Fourth, or any other the females? Then you think that
Akeem,
look
like
good?
over on the male side, Akeem Blake is looking good. I would say, but my worries with Akeem Blake is with his start, and I feel his problem is more
And his
psychological.
and
And
his chicken chest.
let's just all right. Let's yeah. Akeem
Sorry,
Blake is
sorry,
looking
yeah.
good, and then I guess the females pretty much the usual. Over on the hurdle side, yes, we see Rochelle Clayton and the girls, but really, when I think about it, Jamaica's prospect there is really like a bronze, because when you put Fenke Ball and Sydney in that conversation, that's another conversation there. And so unless
Yeah.
they hit a hurdle or something that will really change, stuff, then that's pretty much that. Looking forward to seeing Jaden Hibbert too. But for me, with Jaden, when we look at, some of those jumpers from Spain, the Cubans who are, is it Spain? Yeah, I think Spain are, yeah, who are now representing Spain. They are jumping, very well. So he could be in the mix, but he'll have to put in a little bit more. And so that is that. But maybe we'll get some surprises. I don't know, but still hopeful, because we just have to understand that with this sport, track and field, injuries, that's pretty much it. It comes with the territory.
I like Nikisha. I
Yes,
think
yes, yes.
she's she's an introvert. She's not the person who likes to go out and talk, but she's doing really well. And her times are coming down. The only thing I would worry about her is that I watched the trials the other day, American trials, and I saw, is it Jalen Brown, one of her running partners? She didn't run very well. I'm just wondering if she's tired. But the sad
It's the
thing,
same thing, because if you remember Mackenzie Long, like, she didn't even make the final, the 100. And this is what I talk when I say the NCAA, it works them, like they're overworked.
no, with Mackenzie Long, I don't mean to interject, but with Mackenzie Long, that is her fault, because it's a very highly competitive race. She slept in the blocks. If she didn't sleep in the blocks, she would have made the final quite easily. That's the problem she always had. She's got a starting problem. She's not a good starter. Sometimes she get it, and sometimes she's like slowly. Sometimes she get the start, and sometimes she's sleeping in the blocks for some reason. I think that's what happens to her. But I don't think she's worn out, because physically, structurally, she is very, very capable of running and making that team. Those three girls that made it, she should be one of them if she'd actually had a proper start, worked a little bit more on her 60 meters. So I don't think, but with Nikisha Price, that's the only thing I'm worried about. the caveat to Nikisha Price is that she's not going to have such a competitive trials. So she don't need to run 48. She can run 50 and she can still be fine in winning easily. So that's the only thing. So she'll have enough time to rest. She don't have to pressure everything to have a record. But with Jalen Brown, she had to run everything. She had to give everything. And she struggled. I don't think she made it. But I'm hoping that Nikisha does something and can get Pauline here, because I want us to beat that girl, Pauline. She doesn't look well.
From the
but,
DR,
you know, she's just,
it's gonna be tough, but we'll see.
we'll see. Anyway, I know I'm here quite long, and I don't want to take up space on your call because you're probably getting other calls. But you have a fantastic morning. It's morning now. A morning time now in
Yes,
Jamaica, don't it?
morning, yeah.
Yes, I'm on the time in Jamaica. Yeah. Don't worry. I might sound a little bit British, but I'm not British. I'm still Jamaican.
Understand the thing, man. Understand the thing. Thank you so much, Mr. UK Jamaican UK.
Yeah. Yes. And you have a fantastic day. And keep doing what you're doing, and we try our best to support your program as much as we can. Okay.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a good day now, mate.
Oh, don't come with them with the stuff in this there, bro. You have to make a talk to me.
That's a territory you're in, mate.
Oh my God. You know what? I always don't like because I can hear from your accent. I don't want to say, but I can hear from your accent which parts of Jamaica you're from.
Tell me.
I think.
Tell me which part of Jamaica I come from.
I'm gonna give you two answers.
One.
Either you're in close proximity of Kingston.
What does that mean? Just pick a parish.
Close proximity of Kingston. I think you have a slightly close proximity of Kingston accent.
We are country girl.
So, really?
country girl.
If you're from the countries, then you're from St. Anne.
No, not St. Anne.
Whoa, I am got that wrong completely. All right. I don't want you to tell everyone where you're from and stuff like that. So.
All right, thank you so much for calling in.
You have a fantastic day, okay?
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, wonderful there, hearing from, that caller there calling us from the UK. So we're getting pretty much close to wrapping this one up, but let me just look quickly here in the chat. And I see Eric, your comments here. By the way, David, welcome, and good morning to you too, David. All right, and David is saying the Queen will win. That Shelly will win later on, and is looking at 10-7 there. And Elaine should have spent money and I guess taken some precaution there. But Shaniki was asking for too much. All right. And so, and Eric is saying as long as jumping ship is not involved, I guess that's pertaining to Brianna, he will wait. All right. And I see your comment there about Sharika. And again, we try to keep it respectful here. So let me just go in there. And yes, we saw that in terms of the specialist, senior comment there with the twin kingers. Okay, I guess you were talking about Brianna there in terms of her decision not to run. And, again, injuries, she has to decide, what's best for me. And sometimes you're on the outside looking in like, we want what's best for Jamaica. But then the athletes, they're thinking about themselves too, what's best for me in the long run. Nikisha will be on the podium there from Eric. All right. And Eric is also saying that she will not run less than 49. And she needs to move up to the 200. And Samsung, It's saying keep the program professional sounds too casual. Sometimes it's about the interaction sometimes, and persons here, we want to create a space where you feel valued and comfortable sharing. And sometimes some persons, they don't call because they feel as if they call, they just can't talk. So we want to keep it professional. So some persons, for example, they will call and they'll speak English. Some persons, will call and we match that. Go on, talk to me, what you think about this, what you think about that. And so, I don't know. We try to keep it balanced and in the sense where we ensure too, like we want to keep the space respectful. And so I'm not too sure, in that context, but I see your comments. So thanks for sharing your view there. And so again, a part of it is to ensure that you have a space where, you can come to and you feel welcome. You don't, shy to call us and talk to us because you're always hearing these big words or, well spoken, and you're not able to match that, so you don't call. We want to be flexible. And even when we're talking about situations, we want to break it down, right? Where everyone can leave having an understanding and where you can share your opinion, for example, in the context of being professional, and where I can share and say, well, Sam, this is what the situation is. Not everybody can respond to, a particular context, and context, definitely matters. So we want to open it up where if we have somebody with a PhD here and we have somebody who is a farmer, we are still okay. We feel good. We don't feel as if, our statuses, matter in that context. All right. So hopefully, we kind of understand each other here now, Sam. But thanks for sharing your view there. All right, so that's pretty much the context there. I'm just going to let you know what is happening for today. And I'm going to sign off for this one. All right, and we'll be back later this evening at about 6:45 Jamaica time. So we're going to be here for that live conversation and live updates. And we'll try to see how best we can get some video clips for you of those events. All right. I see your comment there, Sam. Just love and blessings. All right. So let us quickly look at the schedule for today. And then we'll just round this one off just to show you. They'll start in about 9 minutes or so, day 2. And as you can see, the boys, the decathlon, 110 hurdles will start in 9 minutes. And then the girls on the 2400 meters prelims. And then we'll have the under 20 400 meters for boys prelim, and this looks like the under 20 boys discus throw, and the boys decathlon pole vault, boys long jump. All right. Then we have boys shot put under 20. So just to let you know, they'll start from 9:30 until 11. They'll take a break and they'll come back for 4 o'clock with the decathlon. All right. And then after that, you'll see the long jump, then the shot put, followed by the girls 1500, and that's the under 20 at about 5:10. All right. And then we'll have the boys 1500. Then the women's seniors. So the seniors will have the 1500 meters as well as the men's equivalent, followed by the girls shot put. So that's under 20, and girls long jump under 20, girls 400-meter hurdles, so under 20. Then at 6:40, the high jump for men, and that's the seniors 6:45 under 2,400-meter hurdles, boys final, and then we'll have the women's 400-meter hurdles at 6:55. Then the 400-meter hurdles men, and these are all finals at about 7:05, followed by the discus throw for women, 7:10. Under 20 semis for the girls in the 100 meters, and the boys equivalent semis will be happening too. Then we'll see the women's semifinals, all right? And that is definitely interesting, and we want to see that. Followed by the boys, decathlon, javelin throw, then the men's, and this will be the international, I guess, perhaps final for the 100 meters. And then we have the 100 meters seniors semis, all right, for the Jamaicans, and followed by the 800 meters for men and women. Then the 400 meters, all right, seniors, men final, the decathlon, 1,500 for boys. We'll see a master's run for 35 plus men. And then we'll have the 100 finals for boys and girls, followed by the 100 finals for men and women. So based on the schedule here, because it goes up, it's going to go up until about minutes after 10. We're going to try to be here for 6:45. So, that's going to be a bit of time, but, we'll try. And again, we'll be here and we want you to join us for sure. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sharing in the chat. Thank you so much for, liking, for subscribing, for sharing. Really appreciate the support, and we'll definitely want to see you later. So ensure that you subscribe, turn on your post notification. We'll be here at about 6:45 p.m. Jamaica time. All right, please remember, in everything that you do, put God first. The race is not for the swift sometimes, but for those who can endure to the end. Be patient with yourself. All right, understand that in life, sometimes we have ups and we have downs, and that is totally okay. We're not always down. And once you're down, there's only one place to go, up. All right, so you're at the bottom already. That's it. You hit rock bottom. Just start to look up. All right, so blessings and love, everyone. Again, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you later in the next live.